What is due diligence? When buying a home in North or South Carolina, the seller usually expects a due diligence fee. The due diligence fee differs in both states. Watch this video to understand this due diligence fee and how it is handled in North Carolina and South Carolina. Hi, I'm Mary, and with my sister Caroline, we are realtors with Prostead Realty in Charlotte, North Carolina. Due diligence is sometimes a confusing term. The due diligence period is different from the due diligence fee. The due diligence period is a negotiated length of time between the acceptance of the offer and the time period for the buyer to have all inspections done, finalize all financing, and ultimately decide whether or not to buy the house or walk away. Remember that your due diligence period begins as soon as the contract is signed by both parties. You should have all your inspections done during this time period, such as a professional home inspection, termite inspection, or septic and radon inspection. You may want to get a survey done. All of these inspections are paid for by the buyer. Certain types of loans and lenders sometimes have requirements during this time. As a buyer, you can ask for repairs to be made, but the seller does not have to make them. Repairs are negotiable. In order for the buyer to get this due diligence period in North Carolina, the buyer must pay a due diligence fee payable when you sign the contract directly to the seller. This fee is negotiable and depends on the market competition and on the purchase price of the house. A higher due diligence fee makes your offer more attractive to a seller, but be careful. If you back out of the contract, or your financing falls through, or something is found on the inspection that you cannot live with or cannot repair, you forfeit this money. The due diligence fee is not refundable. This fee is paid directly to the seller and buys you, the buyer, the exclusive right to inspect the home. It compensates the seller for taking their home off the market and preventing others the right to inspect and buy. When you go to close on your home, this due diligence fee is refunded back at closing. The only time you lose this money is if you do not close on the house. This fee is different from earnest money. Earnest money is a deposit to show your commitment toward buying the house. It will also be credited back to you at closing. If you choose to back out of the contract during the due diligence period, then the earnest money is refundable. However, if you back out after the end of the due diligence period until the closing, then typically you will lose your earnest money also. In South Carolina, the due diligence period and the earnest money are the same as in North Carolina. However, there is not a due diligence fee. Instead, South Carolina uses a termination fee. The due diligence period is negotiated between the buyer and seller, and all inspections as well as any repair requests must be done by the end of this time period. The termination fee is also paid directly to the seller, but only if the buyer decides to terminate the contract during this due diligence period. This termination fee, like in North Carolina, is also a separate fee from the earnest money deposit. If the buyer chooses to terminate the contract, they deliver the termination fee along with the necessary documents before the end of the due diligence period. Then the buyer would receive their earnest money back. This video should help you better understand the terminology associated with the North Carolina and South Carolina purchase contracts, and more specifically about the understanding around the due diligence period and various fees required from buyers. If you want a more general overview of the buying process, watch this video here, or go to the link below and download our Seasonal Buyer's Guide.